drums about 3 years. Didn't know nothing. Hardly knew my name. Here I am, married this young lady from Detroit who was a hell of a singer, jazz singer. She sang other stuff too, but that's what she wanted to sing. So every night in Detroit you could go to a different place and sit in with all of these great musicians. And I got to sit in with all of these. One of the reasons was because I was her boy. And she knew them all. And so I got a chance to sit in and learn some stuff. And at that time in Detroit was just smoking. There was more music in Detroit than there was in all of Canada put together. So I was all ears. And so I started gigging around. And I end up playing this bar, 8 Mile and Shaner in Detroit, called the Drum Beat Lounge. Nowhere to lie. The owner's name was Brian. And him and I just hit it off. So I was playing an R&B band. We had an organ player, guitar player, bass player, can't remember what else. Maybe 1 or 2 fronts. We had really good R&B, funky white band. So anyways, Brian asked me, would you like to do a jazz night? He said, I'd really love to have jazz happening after hours, 2 in the morning on. And I said, you know, being a new kid on the block and not knowing anything, no fear, it was like, oh yeah, let me see what I can do. So I asked the organ player and the guitar player if they knew anybody, and they said, well, we know every one of them tunes. I said, really? I knew they were good players, but I didn't know they were that good. So I started playing, and then who walks in? Steve Booker, who was one of the best drummers in Detroit at the time. And it was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get schooled here big time. I can't wait. You know, I play a few tunes and I get Steve up there. I can sit there and watch and get an education. So then, second or third night, Willie Wells, who was probably the most revered trumpet player in Detroit for years and years. Unfortunately, he was a real bad junkie. So he would be away for a few months or whatever. But everybody who came to Detroit, including Miles Davis, first thing they asked was, where's Willie Wells playing? So here I am, been playing drums for 3 years, and I've got Willie Wells playing trumpet in my band. My gig. I played about 5 tunes a night, and then I just sat back and watched. And Willie didn't realize was a real good drummer. So I had no idea what to do with brushes, you know. So I was sitting there playing my little brush thing. And he said, would you mind if I showed you a couple of things? Would you mind? Excuse me. One of the greatest trumpet players in North America. So I said, lay it on me, you know. So he showed me how to move my body, which always had pretty good body rhythm anyway. But he said, just think of one of them really hip imp guys in Detroit walking down the street. They kind of shuffle down the street. You just think of that, he said, and every time you play the brushes, everybody's going to want to play with you. And he said, and all the girl singers are going to want to play with you. All of the girl singers are going to want to hear that, because good people who play melodies, good musicians, and good singers want to hear that groove. They don't want to hear anybody fooling around. And he said, just think of that boy walking down the street with his fine suit and his big old Cadillac truck.
And his shiny shoes.
And his shoes. Yeah.
Look where the right foot is. On the one.
bless you, Willie.